Hi friends and welcome back to another video. Today it is day 72 on hashtag ASR 99 Days Data Science Challenge, and today in this video we are going to look at how to create heat maps and cluster maps with the help of our Seaborn package. And today we will use a different dataset, that is the flights dataset. So I have imported the package and here is our flights dataset, and it has three columns, namely the year, month and the passengers. So let's get started. So what is a heat map? A heat map is a representation of data in the form of a map in which the data values are represented as the colors. So firstly, we won't dive into directly using our flights dataset. Rather, first I will show you how it works by creating one with the help of our NumPy. So let's import NumPy as NP, and now let me create a variable n, and in which np.random.rand, and I'm going to create an array of shape 13, 15. So let me run this out, and I'm going to create a heat map with the help of this. So sns dot heat map. Here heat map is the function which helps us to create a heat map, and I will pass in my variable n, and here it is. This is our heat map. So by the definition we can see that the data values are represented as colors. So here each color represents a different value. In order to check for the value that the particular color represents, we can use a parameter named the unnot. So unnot equals, let's set it to true, and here are the values. So let's increase the figure size by using our figure function, plt dot figure, and in which fig size equals, I'm changing it to 10, 5. So in order for this to work, we need matplotlib. So import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt, and now we are good to go. So here are those numbers. So here this value is 0.0067. So it is very darker in color. And also we can change the values of our color bar. So and now let's change it to 0 to 2. So in order to do that, we will use the parameter vmin and vmax. So sns dot heat map, and here firstly I will pass in the variable n and the parameter vmin. So I want the range to be starting from 0 and the maximum value to be till 2. And now here you can see that our graph has been lightened. So the maximum value in this graph, that is using our random function, we can just plot the values till 1, and they all will lie under this color palette alone. And now let's look on to using the flights dataset. So in order to use that, let's pivot our flights dataset. So I am gonna take the month to be in my rows and the year to be in my columns. So in order to pivot that, I am going to use the pivot function. So let me store in a variable f and flights dot pivot, and I want the month to be as my rows, I mean the column month, and then my column year, and the values are my passengers, that is the total passengers. And let's run this out, and it's perfect. Now let's check for the pivoted table, and here it is. Here in rows I have months, and in my columns I have my years. So let me plot a heat map. So sns dot heat map, and in which I will pass in my variable f, heat map. And yeah, here is our heat map. And also again let's increase the size of it. Let me copy this out, and boom, here is our proper heat map. And again here let's try to check for the values. So unnot equals, I'm setting it to true. So here we can see that we are getting some exponential values. So in order to get rid of them, we use another parameter named the format. It is fmt, so it expands to be the format, and we will change it to decimal. So fmt equals, we will change it to decimal, that is d, and now here we got it. So here this value is 622, and so it has got a very lighter color. And also we can use our line width parameter so that we can create space between our boxes. So line width equals, so let's change it to 0.9, and yeah, this, it looks pretty good. And also we can change the palettes. So here we don't use the parameter palettes, rather we use the parameter cmap. And here also we have a palette summer. So here it is, this is that cool. And also we can check for the others by giving a wrong name and scroll down, and here they are, from accent to winter R. And let's use this civis. So copy this, and instead of su, let's press civis, and yeah, here we got it. Now let's look at how to create a cluster map. In order to create a cluster map, we use the function cluster map, and also here we will use our flights dataset. In particularly we use the pivoted flight dataset, that is our variable f, and here it is. So let me show you, sns.cluster_map, and here I'm passing f, and yeah, here our values have been clustered. And also here you can see that the values that are clustered are they have been clustered in both the ways. They have been clustered both based on our month and also for the years. So now let's say I want to cluster them only based on month. So in order to do that, my month is in the rows. So in order to do that, I will assign false to my column cluster parameter. So let me show you, sns.cluster_map, and in which I will pass in my variable f, and I want to cluster them based on my rows, and so my column cluster parameter I will change it to false. And now here we can see that we have clustered only based on our rows. And now let's say you want to cluster only based on columns, you can use the other parameter named the row cluster and change it to false, and bingo, we have clustered them based on columns. And even here we can use our parameter cmap. So cmap equals, let's give the value ocean, and boom, here we got it. Also we can use our parameter line width. So let's give 0.7 now, and here they are. And yeah, that's all for today in this video. And in this video we looked at how to create heat maps and cluster maps with the help of our Seaborn package. Thanks for watching. Like the video, leave a comment down below, and let's meet on day 73.